Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna try to do my best to explain how I integrate my mixer, my synthesizers, and everything that you see here with my rack. Here I have this Fostex Patchbay RCA. The main point of getting this one for me, it was to integrate a reel-to-reel and eventually a cassette player, CD player and recorder. But yeah, the convenience of the computer, sometimes it doesn't help with that as much. Here, below, you're gonna see the patch base. This is one of the cheapest patch base that you can find, but one of the best ones out there. Neutrik connectors, very reliable, very easy to work with, and it comes pretty much ready as soon as you unpackage, unless you want to do something crazy with like normalizing or half normalize and all the fun stuff. But in this case, the only changes that I did, it's here where I have the outboard gear, and I explain in a little bit more how I do my patching. So let me explain quickly here. I got channels 17 to 32 hooked up here from the mixer. Let me just move this. So as you can see here, I got some notes from 17 to 32. They're not exactly those channels, but here's where I have my two drum machines connected on separate channels, so I can get all my instruments from the bass drum, snare, the toms, everything in separate channels. I can do some equalization here, and then I can insert any of these stuff to those channels, and then I can record them directly with the direct output of the mixer into the software. Hopefully that's clear for you, but I can make another separate video on explaining in detail how that process is. But it's super quick. That's what I like about the Patchbay, that it's just patching things here and there, and then you got something going right away. And then on the bottom section here, I got the outputs of the mixer. So the groups 1 to 8. So these ones, right? So what I use this for is for recording all my synthesizers. So every time I'm recording a synthesizer, I only have two hands, so I play and I record one at a time, but I could potentially record 4 stereo synthesizers or 8 mono synthesizers. The way I do it, let's say I wanna record, this case, the Moog, I will just assign it to one of these groups here. So as you can see, it's assigned to 1 and 2. So because it's a mono input, I just have to move this one and make sure that this is actually in mono. If you want to record in stereo, in this case, the Mofo, Dave Smith Mofo, I have two pan here, left and right, and then assign them to 1 and 2. And then I just have to move this one and make sure this is left and right. So I got the stereo, right? And then how do I patch that to go to the Orion for recording? I grab then the output of channel 1 to the input, right, of channel 1 on the Orion, and the output of the group channel to the other input. And then I'm recording and I'm getting the equalization of the mixer and whatever effects also I have in these auxiliaries from the mixer, which I can use in any of the channels here. That's where I have connected these pedals and another foot pedal that I have down there. Sorry if I'm moving too fast with the camera. Now let's make it a little bit more complicated. Let's say I'm just gonna record the Moog in this case. So the Moog is on channel 17. I will again assign it to channel 1. It's mono, so I need to do that. Then let's say I wanna use I don't wanna use the equalization there, so I will not engage the EQ on that channel because I wanna use one of these Klark Teknik Pultec style EQ. So how do I do that? I take the Moog, so it will be out of the group 1 and then in my EQ. Then I grab another patch cable to go out of that and then in the recording, right? So now I'm using the preamp from the mixer, but I'm not using the equalization from the mixer. I'm breaking that by doing this, but I'm going to the EQ and I can do all my equalization here and then send that to my final channels for recording of the Moog synthesizer. Okay, so hopefully I'm not getting you too confused here, but if you have any more questions, I'm willing to answer them on the comments. Down here, I have this Patchbay, but it's an XLR Patchbay. So this is just pure convenience. So instead of having to go back in the mixer for my first 8 channels, which what I've done here, it's, let's say I wanna pass a microphone through my mixer, if I wanna record acoustic drums or anything acoustic that I want the EQ from the mixer, I will just simply go like this. I will connect the instruments here so I don't have to go back in the mixer, right? So I got 8 channels there directly going to the board. And of course, if you got any line inputs, I can bypass any of these ones too, right? And going directly to the mixer. I also have the same idea for the preamps that I'm gonna show you in a second here. But instead of going back in the preamp and trying to connect an XLR cable, I just bring the inputs to the front here. So I have input 1, 2, 3, and then if I need to connect a guitar to the in this case to the ISA Two, I have the inputs here at the front. So again, I don't have to go on the back. Also for the WA73, and I have the booth for my vocal booth. I have 1, 2, 3 inputs. Let's say I also want to record somebody singing and playing the guitar, or 2 people playing guitars and 1 singer. I can do that directly from the booth without having to run wires. ISA Two Focusrite dual mono mic pre classic, and to me, to my ears, is the best one that I ever owned. Of course I've never had, I don't know, like the big stuff, the expensive stuff, but for the price range, this is actually the most expensive one I have, but it's perfect. I had the ISA One, I still have it, and unfortunately I'm probably gonna have to sell it because I just don't need that many inputs. 2 for me, for what I do here, is fine. I would love to have the mixer, but that's like hundreds of thousands of dollars, because I would love to try the EQ and the compressors maybe one day, but this is what I'm settled for now. That kind of sound preamp, because it doesn't add extra of what you need, you know what I mean? It's very plain, it's very clear, but it has balls. It's heavy. It had that. It has a lot of headroom, and it sounds amazing with microphones that require a lot of power, like the Shure SM7B. Down below here, I have the Warm Audio WA73 EQ. Great preamp. Somehow I'm not using it as much as I want to. The EQ, it's great. Build quality, I don't know. I have it's not as good as this one. And some of the EQ is a little bit cracky. I don't know, like it feels cheap, but it sounds good. I might sell it just because I'm not using it as much, and I know some people love it, and I like it too. But I do use it when I want something different. I usually run synthesizers through it. Vocals, this is my go-to, but for instruments, I pass them through here and I play with that. So down here are my Klark Teknik's EQP-KT program equalizer, or Pultec style kind of equalizer. It is a tube equalizer. I do like the low end. I do like the 12K boost. I don't know, it's better than a plugin. That's all I can say. To my ears, it sounds good. I know people don't like them in the internet. I see some people even smashing them, and I don't know how they do that. I wouldn't. It's to me, it does have some value, and for this price range, it does what it needs to do. I also use it for mastering. It's a little bit more complicated because you really need to match the two. Whatever you do in up here, you need to match it down here. And of course, they're not going to sound the same. So you need to be willing to, or knowing that you're not going to have kind of the same sounds on the two sides. But it's pretty close. And I actually like the result. Down here, you see the famous distressors. These ones, you see them everywhere in all professional studios. And of course, you'll see it here. I got one very cheap on the used market, and I decided to get the other one just to try the stereo link and it's fascinating. I mean, after getting this one, you don't need any other compressor because it's very versatile, and then you can get everything through here. I do play a lot with it. Sometimes I just come home and connect the microphone and just start like playing with the settings, trying to come up with some cool sounds. It's very pleasing to the ear, and also that it's one of those things that it just makes everything sounds better. Down here we have the DBX160A. This is kind of the styles of the famous DBX160s. There is different styles and versions of it. This one sounds pretty decent. It's something that I hate about these things is it doesn't have a switch and on or off button. It's stupid, and that's why I don't like it as much. And it's probably gonna end up selling it. Also because I don't use it as much now after I got the Distressors. But it is a decent sounding compressor. It's like the dirt box, right? You always need one that doesn't sound as good as the other one, just so you can add some character to them. Down here, these were my first compressors for my vocal chain, and they do have some sentimental value because I learned a lot with them. They're not the best out there, but they do the job pretty good. I had the chance to try a real 1176 before, and it's not too far away from it, and so that's why I decided to buy them. So yeah, that's on my rack. What's on your rack? Tell me in the comments what's on your rack. What do you like from here? What you don't like from here? Thank you very much again for watching. Hopefully you like the video, you like the stuff that I have here. If you have any questions, again, leave it in your comments, and we'll see you next time. Remember to subscribe. We'll see you next time.